Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So to start this peachy glowing eye look, I'm going to apply Soft Ochre Paint Pot by MAC to my eyelids. If your skin tone's more pinky than yellow, then go for something like Painterly by MAC. I'm using a flat shader brush to apply this, and I'm taking it from the mobile eyelid right up to the brow bone. This is going to neutralise the eyelid, so if you haven't applied your foundation as yet, then this will neutralise it and you don't have to be concerned that the lid won't match the rest of your skin. And it's also going to be the base for our eyeshadow to stop it from creasing. The first eyeshadow I'm using is by MakeUp Geek, and this one is Peach Smoothie. It looks like peaches and cream, but it's not, it's actually Peach Smoothie, it's just my lighting. I'm working that colour into the crease all the way across from the outer edge to the inner corner, and the brush I'm using is by Kryolan, and this is the Sinfo Blending Fluff Brush. So you can see where my eye naturally creases, I'm applying it across the crease and up, and I'm just fading that colour up towards the brow. I'm also using what's left on the bristles to pull the colour outwards. This is going to be our first transition shade, so it's going to be the one we take the highest, and it's going to be the lightest colour, so it's less intense. To make this a little bit more peachy, I'm taking MakeUp Geek's blush in Bliss, and I'm applying that over the area we've applied Peach Smoothie. This is going to start warming up the crease area. It's still quite light, so it's going to still work as a nice transition, and we're just blending that upwards to meet the end of Peach Smoothie. And you want to layer both of these colours twice. Now we're going to start intensifying that socket area, so I'm taking Cocoa Bear by MakeUp Geek, and on my F10 Detailer crease brush, I'm working that very close to the socket line. I'm allowing the brush to do the work, so the bristles sink in where my eye naturally creases, and I'm just working that backwards and forwards in circular motions. I'm going to layer this a couple of times to really build up that intensity, and again using a light hand, I'm just working that through the socket. Going back in with my blending brush, I'm going to start working that over the top of Cocoa Bear. I'm going to blend the seams so they fade nicely into Bliss and the Peach Smoothie that we've already applied. Again, use a light hand and just take your time when doing this. Next we're going to add a nice subtle highlight to the brow bone, and I'm using Shimma-Shimma by MakeUp Geek. This can be a little bit intense, but if you use a very small amount and really work it in, you'll get a lovely beautiful glow. My favourite brush to apply it with is my flat shader brush again, and I work that just underneath the arch of the eyebrow. Work the majority of that shimmer directly underneath the arch, and then use what's left on the bristles to fade it down into our transition colours. For the mobile eyelid, we're going to be using In the Spotlight by MakeUp Geek. This is a foiled eyeshadow that's slightly pinky with a coral undertone, it's beautiful. So paired with those nice warm matte shades we've got in the crease, this is going to look really peachy and glowy. I'm using another flat shader brush to apply this, and I've spritzed the bristles with my Smashbox Photo Finish Water Primer. This helps to make the eyeshadow become even more metallic and reflective. I'm going back in with my Shimma-Shimma foiled eyeshadow, and on the opposite side of my flat shader brush, I'm going to apply a small amount of this to the inner corners of the eyes. This is a great tip if your eyes are quite close set together. This will make them look slightly further apart. If you've got quite wide set eyes, then you might want to avoid applying a highlighter in this area because it would just make them look even further apart. I'm going back to my F10 Detailer crease brush and my Cocoa Bear eyeshadow, and I'm deepening and intensifying the socket area. I'm going to start to pull this colour up and outwards so we get a nice V shape. Switching brushes to an angled liner brush, I'm pulling the colour from the outer corner onto the mobile eyelid, and this is going to create a soft smoke on the inner edge of that outer corner, but we're going to keep the very outer line nice and sharp. And then using a very light hand, I'm pulling the colour upwards and fading it across. Going back in with my F10 brush and a super light hand, I'm just blending the seam of that eyeshadow. On the same angled liner brush, I'm taking Cocoa Bear underneath the lower lashes. By running the brush backwards and forwards very quickly, we're smoking that out and fading the colour down, and then I'm softening that with a blending brush. Towards the inner corner of the eyes, I'm using the tip of the brush to feather the colour underneath the tear duct area. But I'm dropping that colour by about 1.5 millimeters underneath the tear duct so that we still get that highlight going from the inner corner and across. Next I'm taking this rich brown eye pencil by Mud, aka Makeup Designery, and I'm going to run that along the waterline, and I'm also going to tightline with that. I like to layer this twice so we get a nice chocolatey colour, but also this will aid the wear so it will stay on longer. If you like to make your eyes look bigger, you could put a cream pencil here, you don't have to use brown. But if you'd like maybe something a little bit more intense, then you can change this up and use a black pencil instead. I'm going to line the top lashes using my Bobbi Brown gel liner in Sepia. I've chosen to use brown as opposed to black because it goes better with the warm colours we've got on the eyelid. I always like to start at the very inner corner of the eye and slowly work that colour all the way across to the outer corner. I've mixed this with a little bit of Inglot's Duraline for durability, but also to make it a little bit more fluid so it makes it easier to work with. I'm adding a small wing to the outer corner, nothing too intense. Then going back in with my angled liner dipped in Cocoa Bear, I'm patting that over the top of that outer wing just to soften it slightly. And then I'm just intensifying the very lower edge of that wing again. Obviously that's an optional part, you don't have to do, it is only a subtle effect. Next I'm framing the tear duct area with a small amount of that gel liner. I'm just tracing the natural shape to create a nice soft point. You've seen me do my brows a million times over, so I'm just going to rush through them. I am using my Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Wiz in medium brown, and I'm just following my natural shape, filling in the sparse areas so they still look natural but nice and groomed. I do have an up close tutorial on how I fill in my brows for that nice natural look, and I show you 3 different ways to achieve it. Once I'm happy with all those areas filled in, I'm just going to set my brows with Anastasia Beverly Hills Clear Brow Gel. To curl my lashes, I'm using my usual favourite by Uemura. Then the mascara I'm using is the Everything Mascara by J. Manuel. I am going to be using falsies, so I'm not really concentrating too much that mascara on my top lashes, but I am applying a couple of coats to my bottom. Off camera I'm applying these velour silk lashes in If You're a Bird, I'm a Bird. Again, I will link my up close tutorial on how to apply falsies. The perfect blush for this look is Sweet as Cocoa by MAC. And I'm applying that to the back half of my cheek, fading it down towards the apple of the cheek but not putting it on the apple of the cheek. This is going to give our cheekbones a nice lift. This blush is a sheer tone shimmer blush. It's classed as a kind of browny shade with pearl, it's really pretty. I'm taking Hoola by Benefit and I'm applying that around my hairline. As usual, this is going to warm up the face and add a bit of dimension, and it will make the face look less flat and just helps to pull the look together. Don't forget to take that down your neck as well. I'm using my Champagne Pop highlighter by Becca, and I'm applying that to the usual areas, so the tip of my nose, a little bit above the cupid's bow. I'm applying a very small amount on the bridge of the nose between the eyes, and I'm going to apply a small amount of that to the tops of my cheekbones and above my brow bone. If you want a more intense finish, you can use a brush, something like a fan brush or an actual highlight brush will do. In keeping with the theme of the colours, I'm just applying Subculture Lip Pencil by MAC to the lips. I'm going to keep them nice and nude. So I'm lining the outer edges to define the shape, but I'm also filling the entire lip in with this pencil. Over that I'm applying this Lip and Cheek by Kryolan, and this is in the shade Amaryliss. These have a velvety matte finish, so they go on absolutely beautifully. They feel so comfortable to wear, and they come in a nice variety of colours. You can see this one goes perfectly with the colours that we've got on our lid and our cheeks. I hope you guys really enjoyed the look. Please let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. If you haven't done so already, hit the subscribe button. You can click down on the left for my daytime glam look, and you can also click down on the right to see how I get my loose curls. If you'd like to see more of what I get up to in my daily life, you can follow me on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram, and they're all at ShowMe MakeUp. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!